Welcome to our course in corporate finance and welcome to Module 1. You can see the title, Cash Flows and the Financial Statements. Our course in corporate finance in general is very interested in the future cash flow of a business, of a financial instrument. It's sort of, we value financial assets based on cash flow. And one of the most valuable tools we have in finance is financial statements produced by accountants. Now, accountants are not as obsessed with cash flow as we are here in finance. And so as a consequence, we have to take accounting information and make sure we understand it well and convert that over to cash flow information. So that's a fundamental concept that we're covering here in Chapter 1. You will hear in your finance course, in this one, in your classroom, if you're taking the course at a university or a college, you'll hear this phrase all through finance course. The phrase is present value of future cash flows. That's the value of any financial asset, the value of anything really, the present value of the future cash flows. And I just thought I'd pose a pretty straightforward dilemma. And this is a question that finance seeks to answer. So if we have a friend, let's just say we have a good friend and they say, I promise to pay you $1,000 in 365 days. 1 year from now, I'm going to give you $1,000. And it's a friend we love. It's a friend that we trust. And we believe them when they say that. And they say, how much money would you give me today in order for me to fulfill that promise? So in other words, what is this $1,000 promise? By the way, I know what you're thinking. We're living in an age of AI. You're probably thinking, oh, this guy, he had AI draw a portrait of Grover Cleveland here, the person on the $1,000 bill. No. I know it's what it looks like, but I did that all by hand. But you might not believe me, but I'm telling you the truth. So in any event, our friend promises to pay us $1,000 in 365 days. What's that worth to us today? Well, that's a question finance seeks to answer. But I hope you're saying, well, it's got to be less than 1,000, right? Like put a number on it. Imagine your best friend says, I'll give you $1,000 a year from now. How much would you give that person today in order to cash in on that promise? Would it be $950? Would it be $900, $800? How much would you discount that? How much of a discount would you need in order to say, okay, I'll take the deal? That's the question fundamentally finance is obsessed with. And if you say, well, I'd only do it for $600, right? I don't really trust my friend. Well, imagine there's a market full of people and your friend's putting it out to lots of offers. Maybe somebody else will do it for $7. Maybe somebody else will do it for $8. What's the right price, right? What's the right price on this promise? That is the fundamental question of finance. Now, this is a pretty simple thing to value, but you can imagine it gets much more complex. And in fact, it gets much mathier. When I was a kid, I always wanted to get into something that involved math and money. I chose accounting. I should have chose finance. Finance involves a lot of math. And I would suggest to you, your professor, if they allow it, you're going to want to learn how to use a financial calculator. It'll be very useful for your test. Now, I'll show you how to do all the exercises we do by hand, but you'll see how much quicker it is. So we'll do it by hand. We'll also do exercises in our financial calculator. So when you want to learn finance, my suggestion is get very good with a financial calculator. I'll use the BA2 Plus and I'll show you how to use that through our videos. But, if you have a Casio or some other brand, they're all very similar. They certainly all produce the same results. So find out what your professor will allow or not. And if they allow you to use a financial calculator, for goodness sakes, it's a great tool that you ought to use. I'll show you how to do everything by hand, but a financial calculator will help. So with all that having been said, I'm so excited that you're with me. Module 1, we're going to learn how to convert financial statement information and to understand financial statement information and how to convert it into something more useful for finance, which is cash flow information. Let's get started. I can't wait to get going. See ya in the next video.